at the live comments when I first come in, and the first things I often see is Ollie out, Ollie in. Oh, shake it all about. But look, Paul Pogba's out and David De Gea is out. It's not paper speculation. It's come out of Ollie Out's mouth. He has confirmed that Paul Pogba and David De Gea will not play against Liverpool. I mean, what I'm going to say is, first of all, there's many things to talk about. We're talking about Allegri as well and a few other things. But I just got to say this. Has anybody else got a big problem with the way our manager and coaching staff announce injuries? Like, we've done this 3 times this season. Let the opposition know in plenty of time that we're missing key players. We've definitely done it with Martial and Pogba before. And I think it's just crazy. It's Wednesday. We're not playing till Sunday, and you've let Klopp know that Pogba's definitely out. Now, of course, he probably can more or less find out he's out in the modern day. But I find it a little bit odd how we keep doing this publicly, because every inch is an inch of advantage. And we're just like, yeah, you know what? Pogba's out, De Gea's out. I'm going to pick this team. Oh, he's shit on his right foot. Don't run at him on his right foot. Oh, you know what? Run at Lindelof because he's dead shaking. He might leave his foot out in the box. Oh, anything else we can help you with on your track to 3 points? It's ridiculous. I don't understand why we do it. I don't understand why we do that. And I don't think it's an excuse, and I'll get in that to a moment, but I do think announcing that Pogba is out on the Wednesday before the game, when there's days to go yet, is silly. And I would like to think that it's all a smokescreen because he is really going to play, but I think we know Ollie is a smile on the face, honest man, and Pogba will be out. So I just can't get my head around it. I really can't. It's like being an ugly bloke married to a beautiful woman, right? And every time you go out, you know she might well have her eye taken by a good-looking bloke because you're bloody ugly, right? But it's even better than that. You know, you expect to lose her at some point, but then, on Saturday night, I'm not going. I'm going to tell the whole world at the disco on Saturday night I won't be there. My beautiful wife will be there. She's gorgeous, but I won't even be there to try and fend off all the attraction she gets. I won't be there, but I've put it all over Facebook and let everybody know that Sunday afternoon, I won't be there at the disco. And also, whatever you do, don't give her a couple of drinks because she gets really flirty. You know, it's just, I don't get it. I think every inch, every angle you can take is an important angle. And I think announcing on Wednesday night that Pogba's out of the game, it's just massively naive. And it does make me worry about the coaching setup at United, because I think we're too honest. I think we're too nice. And I think we're too bloody naive. And I think it will bite us. But a lot of people are saying, well, you know what? That's it. We're definitely going to lose now. Smack yourself around the face in the mirror. Pour a bucket of ice water over your head and stop being so bloody defeatist. We're not going to lose on Sunday because Pogba and De Gea are out. We're going to lose on Sunday because we're shit. Let's be honest. Let's not find an excuse, because I tell you what, and thank you to Tom Hazelwood. How's your tooth, Mark? I've never been a fan of toffee. Just disgusted. Just disgusted by the fact that I had some toffee and my tooth's come out. But more of that later, but not really. It's boring. But you know what? I just think I really do not get how the people are using this as an excuse. Guarantee Ollie will use it as an excuse. Guarantee Woodward and co will use it as an excuse. It's one player. You cannot be Manchester United and say we're going to lose a game because one player's out. And let's be honest, the one player that is out is Paul Pogba. Because you cannot tell me what you've been doing for the last 2.5 years, that Romero's a brilliant goalkeeper. You know, he should play in the Europa League because he's a brilliant goalkeeper and he can do a job. So as far as I'm concerned, De Gea being out, it's not even a massive blow, because everyone says Romero's brilliant. So, and Liverpool have coped perfectly well with Adrian over Alisson. Of course, Alisson's the better goalkeeper, but Adrian's done a good job. And De Gea's the better goalkeeper, but everyone says Romero's brilliant. So I'm not using that as an excuse. De Gea is disappointing, but it's not an excuse. So therefore, you're left with Paul Pogba. So Paul Pogba being out means we're going to lose to Liverpool. Get a bloody life. Open your eyes. Don't let it be the excuse that we lose on Sunday. There should be no excuse. There should be no excuse. Make sure you listen to the podcast. It went out today with me and Flex. Brand new podcast today. The links are in the video description. iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, Geezer, whatever. The links are in there. So make sure you give the podcast a listen. Really, really enjoyed it. Some really good topics on there. We were talking about, has Ollie ruined Rashford? Will we overpay in January? The loanies. We're also talking about Mandzukic and Eriksen. We were talking about racism. We were also talking about a bit about the Liverpool game and the De Gea injury in a little bit more context. But what I wanted to say about this is, Mark, want to smell my stinky toes, says Pure Gaming. Not really. Those sort of comments are a little bit below us. You know, maybe go and do it on a twat channel. He does it to lower expectations in hard games, says Pricey. Yes, I think Pricey has banged the nail on the head here. This is what we've become as a football club, right? I keep saying this week because it reminds me a lot of it. When David Moyes had the job at Manchester United, he was sacked because we didn't get top 4, and people were disgusted because he said before the Liverpool game that we were underdogs, right? Here we are 6 years later. We haven't even got a manager who will say that we're going for top 4 because we're not going to get it, and he's basically putting out messages that we're underdogs and it's okay to lose to Liverpool at Old Trafford. Who, why, and how has that happened to Manchester United? How is it acceptable to go into a game at Old Trafford against our biggest rivals with a white flag? Because that's basically what I think this Pogba thing is. There was no need for it to be put out publicly by our manager. Yes, I'm sure Klopp might know about it because, you know, there are no secrets in football, but it doesn't need to go out there. And the only reason it's going out there is to lower your expectations before this massive game. And your expectations should not be lowered. Just because Paul Pogba's out, we're going to say, oh, that's the excuse if we lose. Shut up. Seriously, shut up. Because we have seen over the last 3 years that Paul Pogba cannot turn up against West Brom. He cannot turn up against Huddersfield and Cardiff. So why is Paul Pogba suddenly the most important thing? We will lose this game if we're going to lose it because we're not good enough. We're not tactically good enough, and the board didn't buy midfielders in the summer. That's why we will lose this game, not because Pogba's out, and that should not be an excuse to go, oh, let's give Ollie another 2 years. You know, this is Manchester United versus Liverpool Football Club. Right, they are better than us. They have got a better team than us. That's a fact. They've proven it over last season and they're proving it this year. They've got a better team than us. They've got a better manager than us. They've got a better system than us. And they've got better players than us. But I'll tell you what. Do Liverpool and Everton, did Liverpool win every Merseyside derby? No. Did Manchester United and Man City, when Man City didn't have any money, did we used to win every Manchester derby? No, we didn't. Because a derby is a great leveller. Going into a game against Liverpool, there shouldn't even be a favourite. They're a better team than us, but we should not be going into it saying, oh, we're going to lose. Because these games, I've been watching these sort of games for over 30 years. There's no such thing. I remember when United were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. 1999, we played Liverpool about 2 weeks before the end of the season. We'd already knocked Arsenal out, Ryan Giggs. We were already very much in the title race against Arsenal, and I think we were either in the semi-finals or in the final by then of the Champions League. We went to Anfield. We only won the title by a couple of points that year. It was decided on the final day when we beat Spurs. But we played Liverpool, and that Liverpool team in '99 at Anfield was shit. And our team was the '99 treble team, the best team the Premier League's ever seen. We drew 2-2. We drew 2-2 because Liverpool raised their game and Paul Ince got an 89th minute equaliser and it was 2-2. Against Liverpool at Anfield with a shit Liverpool team. I think Gerrard played, but in '99 Gerrard was about 8. You know, he wasn't even in his prime then. Redknapp, crap. Ince, Governor, whatever. Not the bloody Governor. He was crap. I think they had Brad Friedel in goal. An absolutely shite Liverpool team, and we still couldn't beat them at Anfield. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't want excuses before this game. It's Manchester United versus Liverpool. And hello, it's at Old Trafford. It ain't at Anfield. It's at Old Trafford. I don't care if we're in League One and it's a cup game and Liverpool come to Old Trafford. I would still say I expect a result because it's a great leveller. It's a great leveller. There can be no excuses, and I think the only reason this Pogba thing's come out is to give excuses so that when or if we did get beat on Sunday, everyone will go, wow, we've had injuries. Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. I'm sorry, this is the one game of the season where you cannot say injuries are an excuse. You can't. It's Manchester United against Liverpool at Old Trafford. We could be the team that stops them winning the title. We could be the team that gets Man City back in the title race. We could be the team that stops them winning the title for the first time in 30 years. Because we ain't going to do it at Anfield. So this is a game on Sunday. We've got to stop them winning. And there can be no excuses. And I feel already from the club the excuses are coming out. Oh, Pogba's out, De Gea's out. Why is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer telling Sky Sports on a Wednesday before the game that key players are out? It's defeatist. It sends the wrong message. Twitter and everything is full with people saying we've definitely lost now. And they're not thinking it through. Why have we definitely lost? Why have we definitely lost? Because Paul Pogba's out. Paul Pogba shouldn't even bloody be here. And let's talk about Pogba. What's happening with Martial? Is he back for Sunday, says Jordan Such? Well, interestingly about about Martial and Luke Shaw, in the same article, talking to Sky Sports, Ollie says, I can't say for definite they're going to be back. We'll have to see what happens, but hopefully they'll train all week and we'll see. Maybe they can play for half an hour or half a game. So you see, again, it's just... These are things that are truth. You can't make players play who aren't fit. Although Roy Keane says you always get yourself back for the Liverpool game. I think footballers are different now. But why is Paul Pogba injured? Paul Pogba's injured because we played him against Arsenal and we played him 90 minutes against Rochdale when he was carrying a knock. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer even admits it in the Sky Sports interview. You know, Pogba played through the pain barrier against Rochdale and Arsenal. Why? Why did you play him through the pain barrier? Surely October was a much more important month than September, and Rochdale in the League Cup. Why did Pogba have to play 90 minutes against Rochdale? And now he probably, and I think the interesting thing about Pogba is I don't think he's back for Belgrade. I don't think he's back for Norwich either. I think he's out for the rest of the month. So the management of Paul Pogba has been ridiculous, from keeping a player that shouldn't be here. I mean, this is brilliant, isn't it? This is the best bit for me. I've said this a few times. So you force a player to stay that wants to go because you want to build a team around him, and then he's injured. It's ridiculous. It's bloody stupid. And again, it goes back to the board, and it really, really winds me up. You sound a little weird today, Mark. What's up? Says Beard Monkey. Nothing. I hope it's not my sound settings. Let me just have a quick look. No, everything's fine. We're absolutely fine. Mark, are we now Leicester FC in disguise, but with Ollie at the wheel, says James James? I would say that Leicester are doing way better than us at the moment. So yes, people joining in a little bit late. Pogba and De Gea are out. I've got no idea why we're announcing it so soon. I suspect it's being announced as an excuse. I suspect they want you as United fans to go into this Liverpool game expecting to get beat. And I think that's disgusting. I think it's disgusting. This is Manchester United against Liverpool. As I said, I've seen shit Liverpool teams over the years against brilliant United teams. Give us a game. It's always a big game. United, Liverpool, doesn't matter who they've got in their team. And they've been crap for 30 years. It's always a big game. Because one thing about Liverpool I would say over the years, they have been crap, but they always play for that badge. They always play for that club, especially against us. They'll raise it. The big question with United is, you know it. You know it. You don't even need to see it search different. You don't even have to search that deep. You know, if I say this to you now, it's Man United against Liverpool. We know Liverpool are better than us, but what can be the leveller is the passion, togetherness and team unity our team can have against them. And that's where it stumbles, isn't it? Because you know this 11 players have got no bloody passion. They've got no unity. So, but that should be the thing. We should not... I'm not going into this game expecting to lose, by the way. I'll tell you, previews tomorrow night, but I'm telling you now, I'm not predicting a United loss. Because I think the day you start predicting a United loss against Liverpool, you may as well pack up and relegate us now. Is that what we are as a fan base now, that we're going to predict our club is going to lose to Liverpool? You don't. It's a pride thing. You just don't do it. And it's a derby, basically. This is more important than Liverpool-Everton to Liverpool, and it's way more important than Man City United to us. It's a bloody derby. And there should be no holds barred. In fact, ability shouldn't even come into it, because what should win the day is passion and pride. It should be 100 miles an hour, playing, on your edge, on adrenaline. That's what should happen on Sunday. That's what I expect on Sunday. And I don't want any bullshit excuses. And to be honest with you, does Paul Pogba really suit a derby anyway? If you think about Pogba, that 45 minutes in the second half at the Etihad, but realistically, in the big games where it's blood and thunder, does Pogba actually deliver? Is he the sort of player that suits a game where it's blood and thunder? Not really. So why is Pogba a loss? He shouldn't be a loss. Who me, boss? I love your passion and fight mode. Such a shame it's coming from a YouTube channel more than their own channel, Manager Players. How can that be? Because I just think we're so defeatist as a football club now. The message from the top is, oh, it's going to get worse before it's get better. Let's do it for 2 years. years. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. One of the first giant killings I remember was Sutton United knocking Coventry City out of the FA Cup third round in 1988. Coventry City had just won the FA Cup against Spurs, and they went away to Sutton United at some dog shit ground in the FA Cup, and they got beat. They got beat. And my lifetime is full. Wimbledon-Liverpool FA Cup final, 88. Wimbledon won. There are so many examples of shit teams beating brilliant teams. And this is what I mean. You never give up. You never put the white flag up, and you never make excuses. Certainly not in a game of this magnitude. It's Manchester United against Liverpool. We should not be giving up. We should not be saying it's gone. Now, if we do lose, then you take it on the chin. That's football. But you don't go into a game like this making excuses. And I just feel that that's what the club want to do. They want to make excuses because basically they just want your money. If we finish 12th, but you keep buying the shirts and the season tickets and the programmes and the merchandise, they're still making money anyway. So they just want your money. And the way to do that is they know they're shit. They know they're rubbish. They know they've messed this whole club up. But it's about keeping you not unhappy. It's about keeping you from being unhappy. Because if you're happy, you'll spend money on the club. If you're unhappy, you might not. So they've got to try and find a way to spin this shit situation. So, it's bad to lose to Liverpool, but Pogba and De Gea were out. That's what we're doing. And it's just not right. I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on that press conference on Friday morning to say, it's Manchester United against Liverpool. Injuries are not an excuse. There's no excuse to lose this game. We've got to go out there and get 3 points. That isn't even a hard thing to ask for, is it? That's not a hard thing to ask for. That should be a given. I'll be very surprised if he says it. But that should be coming out of his mouth. And if he doesn't say it, it shows he doesn't believe it and he's not confident. If I was manager of Manchester United on Friday morning, I would say, I'll tell you what, it's Manchester United against Liverpool. Liverpool are 8 points clear. They're looking like favourites for the title. We've got to play our part in stopping them win the title. This is about getting our season back on track. We want to be top 4. We've lost to Newcastle. We've had a really bad start. This is the perfect game for us to get our season back on track. And I can't wait for it because it's United-Liverpool. I don't even need to do a team talk for it because I know my lads are going to go through brick walls for them fans and that badge. And we're going to go and get something on Sunday. And that's what I would say. But I just don't think it will happen. And this is the apathy that just infects the whole club. And it's starting to infect the fan base. People saying, you're not from Manchester, you're a fucking Forest fan, this, that and the other. Well, you know what? You can believe whatever lie you want to believe. But I think me and many other people in the live comments are one of the few fans who are actually passionately saying it how it is and saying it's unacceptable, the message we're getting from the club. So, you know what? You can slag me off, you can slag the channel off all you like, but actually we're being passionate and we're saying that actually against Manchester United against Liverpool, we should not be making excuses. We should not be saying they're the better team. We should be going in there in our own bloody ground against our biggest rivals and getting something, because history shows it doesn't matter who's the better team. It's a bloody bloodbath. It's a war. It's the biggest game arguably in football, certainly in English football. And we've got to go and get something out of that game. And I just feel that the club releasing on a Wednesday night that Pogba and De Gea are out and talking about injuries, making excuses, what sort of message does that send out to our squad anyway? It's weak. It's weak. I would love Solskjaer to, if he was going to let everybody know that Pogba and De Gea are out, why not also say Pogba and De Gea are out, but at the end of the day, this is a massive game. Pogba missed the last few games. We've got a brilliant backup keeper in Romero. Pogba's been out for a while. I believe in this squad, and I believe we can get a result on Sunday, and we're going to get a result. Why can't you just add that in as well? But the whole thing just seems to be very negative. Carlos Rondon, Paul and De Gea is an excuse, and I agree with you, Mark. Man United is Brexit FC. There is a rich pool of talent in CONMEBOL, Africa and CONCACAF. What happened to scouts? I probably have gone a little bit too passionate on this, but it matters to me. I apologise that it matters to me. I apologise that I don't want to be there on Sunday night losing to Liverpool. I've had quite a relaxing international break. But I didn't enjoy the international break because I always want United to play. I love Manchester United playing games. I want United to get back to where they should be. We're not going to get back to where we should be by hiding in international breaks saying at least we can't lose. We're going to get back where we need to be by actually facing up to things. Massive game on Sunday, massive opportunity. I know Liverpool are better than us, but I don't expect to lose on Sunday. I really don't. And if we do lose on Sunday, I will go bloody mad if there are excuses about injuries or whatever the excuse is, because I don't want to be there on Sunday evening, sat there taking a loss against Liverpool in the bottom half of the table. I don't want that to happen. That in fact, I so much don't want it to happen, it scares me. And that, if I was a player of United or a coach of United, that fear would be driving me on so much this week. And we need to see that. We need to see that. There's so much apathy in that football club. They've got to step up. There's no excuses. If they can't get up for this game, they may as well all piss off. I really mean that. I really mean that. And I wish and hope and suspect some United fans, some United players do watch the United Stand anyway. And if you are watching, I tell you what, don't leave anything on Sunday. Do not, because there are no excuses. There are no hiding places. Yeah, you get away with it against Cardiff and Huddersfield and Newcastle. But Man United against Liverpool, it's the biggest game. It's the biggest game of the season at Old Trafford. Do not go and give us 4, 5 or 6 out of 10 performances. It's got to be 7 and 8. And if you lose and everybody plays well, then as I say, at the end of the day, that is football. You've got to take it on the chin. But I don't expect any bad performances. It's not about being critical of you. It's not about being negative. This is Manchester United Football Club against Liverpool. This is a big game. You've delivered abysmal performances this season. You have a responsibility to yourselves more than anything, but to that shirt and to the fans to go out and get a result on Sunday. And that's what needs to happen. And I'm not having any excuses. Harry Melinda, drop her the United Stand hoodie shirt. Thank you. We'll have a look at that. And Ebrima John says, Liverpool right side of defence is very vulnerable. Dan James and Rashford can give them serious problems. If Mane is doubled up, I fancy United to win. Look, we'll go through the preview tomorrow night, but when it comes to Manchester United against Liverpool, I don't expect to lose. Klopp has never won in the Premier League at Old Trafford. He's never won at the Premier League at Old Trafford. We have seen Ashley Young pocket Salah. I know Wan-Bissaka can deal with Mane, and I know Young can deal with Salah, or Shaw can deal with Salah. Harry Maguire and Lindelof can deal with Firmino. We can do this. I watched Liverpool play Sheffield United 2 weeks ago, and they won 1-0 because of a goalkeeping error. We can do this. I just don't want excuses. I think excuses put the wrong message into fans. Some fans will go into Old Trafford with excuse in their head, expecting it. Some players will have it in their head, oh, manager's talking like we're going to lose anyway. No. You've got to get that positive mental attitude. You have to. Phil Jones, you Pratt, says Phil Jones won't be playing. I don't think we need to worry about that. But there's no excuses. And to be honest with you, in relation to the Pogba injury, I think we've only got ourselves to blame. We played him when he was injured. You take that risk, you run that risk, don't you? With De Gea, you know what? If De Gea is the only injury we get out of the international break, it's not too bad. You always get injuries on the international break. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, to be honest with you. Make sure you do give the podcast a listen, by the way. Really good show with me and Flex today. And we always talk about stuff on the podcast. It's a weekly podcast. 1999. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's a weekly podcast. And everything we discuss on there, it's an hour. It's on iTunes, Deezer, Geezer, Discord, whatever. I don't know what it's on. I don't really listen to podcasts other than on iTunes. But it's an hour show, and everything we talk on there is never mentioned on YouTube anyway, so it's exclusive content, and there was a lot of good stuff on there today. Abhinav Ray says, we've become a club which looks for excuses rather than solutions. Who's responsible for that? People at the top, right the way through the bottom. The reality is, if you work for any organisation and the people at the top will give you an excuse, I've said this before. If you work somewhere, right, and you're really busy, and then your boss comes in tomorrow and he says, you know what, we ain't got to get this done till February. We could crack on with it now, but actually, as long as it's done by February, that's all that matters. Straight away, you're on your phone, you're sat on the toilet reading the paper, you're on easy street. That's no reflection on you, that's reflection on the boss, message down to the bottom. If your boss is there like, we need this project done by the end of October or we're in shit, there's no Christmas bonus, you will work hard. So who's to blame? 100% the board. The board send the wrong message down through the club, the manager, the players, the coaching staff react to that. If they're not motivated and they're told it's fine to be shit, then they're going to be shit, aren't they? Where's the motivator? The poor leadership at the top. And let's be honest, the leaders at the top are people sat in America counting coin, and Ed Woodward, who doesn't know anything about football. So, you know what? And I stand by that. Twansibi to start, more solid than Lindelof so far, says Tom Reedshaw. Well, we'll talk about that on the preview tomorrow, but I was thinking about that today about him. Norwich beat City 3-2 with plenty of injuries, says Jordan Such. Jordan, you're spot on. Welcome to the real club. Welcome to the club that doesn't let United make excuses because of injuries. Welcome to the club that's not going to go into this Liverpool game at Old Trafford expecting a loss because that's the message coming from the club. No. Life is littered with teams, underdogs beating. I mean, who would have said Norwich would beat Man City? What a great example that was. Man City would smash Norwich most times, people would expect, and Norwich thoroughly deserve to beat them. So why are we putting a white flag up in a Liverpool United game? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. United struggle against counter-attacking sides. No way Liverpool will counter-attack, says Beta van der Shans. What if Mourinho had given these excuses to Swappy? Exactly. The Mourinho would be hung out to dry. But I'll give you a little bit of a hint on the podcast. One of the questions I put to Flex was, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wasn't an ex-United player, would his CV be good enough to get a job in the Championship? I'll leave you with that one. Humi said, would you take a loss but fight passion and show pride, or a win and play awful and win through luck? Win for league position or lose but buckets of passion? I'll be honest with you now. I don't think how we play on Sunday really matters. I think it's the result. I really do. I think if we play defensive football and lose, that will matter. But if we play defensive football and win or get a draw, the result will outweigh it. Against Liverpool, it's about the result. I think, if you're saying to me we can lose to Liverpool but play the best brand of football we've ever played under Ollie, or we can scab a 1-0 playing shit, I'll take the 1-0 because that's the enormity of the game. I think one of my favourite results against Liverpool at Anfield, I think it was under Van Gaal, where we basically played absolutely shit and won 1-0. And I loved it. It's the best way to beat Liverpool. If if they think they're the better team, but then you win, because you only play them twice a season, and if you can beat them, great. But if you can beat them and go ha 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 ha, Liverpool fans will be the same as well. I'm not digging Liverpool fans out here because they feel exactly the same about us. That's the rivalry. So no, I don't really give a shit how we play on Sunday. I think against Norwich, I'd want to see us play better, but against Liverpool, we can't play against Liverpool and play a good brand of football because we haven't even got a midfield. To beat Liverpool, we're going to have to play dogged, defensive football, and I would take that every day of the week because I want to win. And we need the points. Nice opportunity to stop Liverpool's record, says Jenks K112. You know what? There are so many motivators for Manchester United on Sunday. As I said, they don't need a team talk. But they do, because they're not the right players. But they shouldn't need it. They shouldn't need one. Ollie is out of his depth because he does not understand the tactics. He needs to resign before being sacked, says Dinky Man. He'll never resign. Vandy Candy, we can't park the bus for 90 minutes. They have too many weapons and dangerous fullbacks. Well, we did. To be honest, we can. We actually can, because we did it against. We did it against them back in February, didn't we? That was the game where the wheel came off the bus, really. Oh, it's not. It's a 99. It's not 1989. I could do it. I could make it a 1989. How do I do it? Look, give him time. Give him time. We're back in 1989. There you go. Did it? I knew I wore it for a reason. I only just need to add my finger a little bit there. Look, it looks like an 8 now. Give him time. Give him time. We're back in 1989. But you know what? It's an interesting one, isn't it? Salford City were 4-0 down after 80 minutes and drew 4-4, says False 9. And Fazan says, I'm sick of this Manchester United. What has happened to us? We dropped so low where we've already accepted defeat. Come on, guys. We're Manchester United. We can do this. Van Gaal's team bossed Liverpool with Mattis scoring 2 great goals. Liverpool couldn't get near the ball in that game, says Roadrunner. That was at Old Trafford. That was at Anfield. I remember that one. But yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will never resign from the job, Dinky, as you were saying there. He won't do that. That's not what's going to happen, is it? But look, there was something today that I do want to address, and that was this sensationalist crap going round that Allegri is close to becoming Manchester United manager. And I look, I have issues, of course. I genuinely have issues. But, I mean, I have issues with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think that we all know that. But also, I think that I'm absolutely opposed to Manchester United appointing Allegri. I watch a lot of Italian football. I know a lot about Allegri. And I don't see... He could be brilliant and he could solve our problems. So and if he becomes our manager, I don't believe in... I didn't do it with Matic and I didn't do it with Lukaku. Even though I was dead against getting them and I was proved right, I did give them time at the start because you can't do that. If we get Mandzukic in January, I'm dead against it, but I would give him a chance because you've got to do that. And if we got Allegri, I would give him chance. But I don't get what that appointment's about other than he's free. He's free, he's not attached to a club, and he's won some titles for it in Juventus. I just do not get why he is the right man for Manchester United if we sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's a pragmatic, tactical manager. How does that fit in with Manchester United? And this goes back to what I keep saying when people say, why are you not Ole out? Because this is what scares me. You sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who may well not be good enough for the job. I'm not saying he is. But you sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and you end up with Allegri. And I guarantee you'll be asking for him to be sacked within 6 months to a year because he will not be able to solve the problems at United. And the way he will play football will not be pleasing either. But the most important thing for me is that it should not be another manager that solves this problem. It should not be that. We all know what the problem is at the club. It's the board getting involved in footballing decisions and it's the lack of a director of football. That's why we're failing. Changing the manager will not change that. What needs to happen is a proper director of football comes in, assesses the club and then says, you know what? Solskjaer's shit, sack him. And then you sack him. But it should not be Woodward again. He should not be sacking and recruiting. He's done this. This would be the 4th manager he's sacked and the 5th manager he's recruited. So it's just not... He shouldn't be doing it. So everybody getting excited about Allegri, tell me why it's any different to anything we've tried before. In fact, I would have been more excited about Mourinho and look how that ended. It's just not... It's just not right. It's just not right. And I would say the same about most managers we're going to appoint, actually, if we get rid of Ole. It can't be this board doing it again. How many more times have they got to get it wrong and be given another opportunity? It can't be this board again. So a lot of people said, what did you think about the Allegri news? It just makes me feel very, very sad because it's just more of the same. We can't keep letting these people making these decisions. You just can't. It's just ridiculous. Jonah Jones says official MU emails offering 10% off shirts priority ? Says Jonah James. And Allegri is borderline Jose or Big Sam. Football is horrific with the best by far team in Italy. Does not suit the style fans wish for. People don't realise how he plays. They just see Juve and trophy, says Humi. Well, I'll tell you what, the best I've watched a lot of Juventus and I've had a lot of stick on Twitter from people saying Allegri's great. And I can guarantee most of those people have never watched Juventus play more than 10 times. It's just modern football fan thinking they know what's going on. The best 2 games to watch Allegri's Juventus would be against Spurs, either last season or the year before. It was the year before. Spurs played them off the park in Turin and played them off the park at Wembley. And then for 10 minutes, Spurs went to sleep and Juventus got 2 goals and knocked them out. It wasn't pretty. It was pretty boring. And Pochettino absolutely ripped him. But Spurs did what they normally did and bottled it. This is not a manager that's going to come in and be Pep or Klopp. And that's what United need. They need a revolutionary manager who's full of passion and driven. And I don't see that with Allegri. I don't see him being... I like I say, if Ole gets the sack and we get Allegri, it's not his fault. I'll back him. But he the only reason he's top of the list is because he's free as well. They don't want to spend money. What a bloody surprise again. I don't think he's got the personality. I don't think he's the right man for Manchester United. I don't. And to be honest with you, I'd rather stick with what we've got. I really would. I'd rather stick with what we've got and try and bring about real change at the club, because that's what needs to happen. You cannot have this board making more shit decisions, because we're the victims in all of this. The fans are the victims in all of this, and we're just being subjected to bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And I would rather they just stuck with Solskjaer and sent us down. I'd rather that than they pick another manager. Jagan G says, Mark, don't you think Allegri can at least attract decent players? We aren't finishing top 4 anyways. 8th position plus Ollie means the same players next year. Well, why can Allegri attract big players? What makes you think that? Allegri's not that big a name in world football. Juventus attracts big players. It's not Allegri who attracted the big players there. Like, I don't think that. I think that's such a myth. I think there's 1 or 2 managers in world football that players probably want to play for, and I think Klopp's probably put himself in that position now. Pep did, Zidane did, but most of the time players are attracted by the club and the philosophy of the club, not the manager. So I don't agree that Allegri attracts better players than Ollie. I don't get the obsession with Allegri. He's a good manager, but I just do not feel in my heart that he's right for Manchester United. I'm sorry. As a Liverpool fan, loving the passion, this is what the game means to all of us. Ollie should know that. Thanks, Ben. You know, we don't normally get Liverpool fans jumping in and agreeing with us, but it's a massive game. And as I said at the start of the video, Ben, the reality is I've watched very good United teams go to Anfield, which is exactly what's happening on Sunday. It's a very good Liverpool team coming to Old Trafford. So I've watched very good United. I've seen the 1999 team, the best team the Premier League's ever had, go to Anfield against a shit Liverpool team in May 1999 and not be able to win 2-2 because Liverpool were like a dog with a bone. They wouldn't give up and they got an 89th minute equaliser. I've seen brilliant United teams lose to Liverpool and Liverpool have been the shitter team on paper. It's just not relevant. Pogba's injury, De Gea's injury, it's not relevant. There is no excuse in a game of this magnitude. It's Manchester United against Liverpool. If they smack us up 5-0, that's disgusting. If they beat us 3-0, that's disgusting. They bloody beat Sheffield United 2 weeks ago with a lucky goalkeeper. They're not unbeatable. And on top of that, they're Liverpool. They're our biggest rival. There is no excuse in this game on Sunday. It is not a game any United fan should be going into going, like they are on social media, oh, that's it, we've lost. Get out. Look at who we are. Have a look at that badge on the shirt that you've got somewhere. We're Manchester United. We don't bloody give up against Liverpool. No. And Liverpool fans would not do the same the other way. It's cowardice, and if it's coming from the club, ignore it. Do not accept it. I don't understand why Solskjaer's put it out there, but I hope it's not a white flag. I want to see passion in his press conference. I want to see passion in the performance on Sunday. We start that game with a point. I expect us to end that game with at least a point. That's my expectation. It's Manchester United against Liverpool. It's the biggest game of the season. There is no excuse. Ajax manager is the right man for his thoughts, says John G. Yeah, he's got a philosophy, so I would agree with you on that one. Ibrahim John says, hello Mark, if Kevin Glazer's shares are sold to a foreign owner, would we have the ability to hire a sporting director, or would he be overruled? He'd be overruled. He wouldn't have enough shares, unfortunately. And Gordon Murray, what manager out there would meet the philosophy of United in your opinion? The point is here, you do not need, I think I said this on the Red Men TV preview, so if you've seen it, then I apologise. How many times did Jurgen Klopp play for Liverpool? None. Does Jurgen Klopp epitomise what Liverpool football fans want in a manager and the way they play? Yes, yes, and even more yes. Does Manchester United's next manager need to be an ex-player or ingrained in the way that United play? No. They need to come to United as an innovator who understands what our club is about, and the philosophy of our club is simple. It's risk-taking, attacking football. That's it. That's a very broad spectrum to paint a picture. You know, it's not defined 4-2-3-1 with attacking fullbacks and tiki-taka football and everybody wears the left leg. You know, I'm being silly, but the reality is it isn't massively defined. It's attacking football and risk-taking. That's United. That's what we are. That's our club. We don't need a manager that's played for the club, managed for the club. It's not essential. Look at what Liverpool did with Klopp. Like, he epitomises what Liverpool is, and Liverpool love him because he gets it. There is a manager out there that can come into our club with their own vision, an attacking vision, and be the next Sir Alex Ferguson. There is. I don't know who it is. There's plenty of candidates out there. It's not Allegri. It's not Diego Simeone, because I know how they play football. and that's not. And also, Allegri's in his 50s. It's just United need a vibrant manager, and a confident. They need the next Mourinho. They need the next Pep. They need the next Klopp. That's what they need. They don't need a B-Tech version of those who's in their 50s. They need the next one of those. An innovator who totally understands what the club's all about, but is going to build it in their own vision. That's what United need. And you can list off as many managers as you like, but that's what United need. Would you have Laurent Blanc as Danny Noon? Yes. I've always liked Laurent Blanc. He will not get the job, but I've always liked Laurent Blanc, because when you look at Laurent Blanc at Bordeaux, at PSG and France, the way he wants to play football fits in with us. He played football for United and Barcelona. He's a football playing centre-back, or he was. He likes to use the youth. He's an innovator. I think he would be perfect. I think he might fail, but he would be an appointment that would be perfect for what we need. Do you have an inkling worry, doubt certain players will potentially down tools to get rid of Ollie, Carrick and McKenna at the weekend, says Humi? Look, you know what? I think this weekend will be framed however we frame it. But to be honest with you, going into a game like this, I put Solskjaer and the players on the same level. If we lose, I refuse to just put it all on Ollie. If players put in crap performances, as I said, this sort of game isn't necessary. It is about tactics, but it's a lot more. It's not really about ability. Tactics are important, but it's about pride. It's about passion. It's about fight. A player who's not that good could be man of the match because they're absolutely everywhere and they put a load of effort in. A Scott McTominay could be man of the match on Sunday. So the players have got to deliver. You cannot hide or deliver a shit performance against Liverpool. In fact, if he starts Lingard and Lingard puts in a 5 out of 10, I will say on Sunday night, get him out of the club. I never want to see him play again. That's how big this game is, and that's how important it is that players turn up. In fact, people are playing for their careers on Sunday. Forget Ollie. Some people think Ollie's managing for his career. Some United players who've not been good enough over the last 8 months are playing for their career on Sunday. If you get picked and you put in a performance below a 5 out of 10, get out. There's no excuse. If you can't put in a performance in a game like that in a United shirt, you're gone. In my mind, they're gone. So that's the pressure those players have got on. And it shouldn't be pressure, because it's a massive opportunity to play in a game like that. Nagelsmann's 32 years old, great football, says Devils TV. You know what? I like the look of him. United won't do it. Modern football clubs are run like corporate, where everyone understands their responsibilities and are rewarded for performance, whereas our owners act like a bank trying to churn as much cash as possible, says Avanaf Ray. And give Ollie time. Greetings from Switzerland, says Shamir Skinner. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody, because my like counter says 2 likes. I think it's broken, but I've thoroughly enjoyed the video tonight. I think it's been brilliant, and I think the one thing that has come out from this is that there's a lot of us who feel that this is bullshit coming out of the club. Why are we announcing Pogba's out 4 days before the game? Why are we doing that? Because the white flag's coming out? Screw that. I don't care if our whole first team's injured. I'd still expect the reserves to get a result against Liverpool, because it's at Old Trafford and it's Manchester United against Liverpool. It's a great leveller. Football's full of teams who aren't the favourites winning games. And a derby's an even bigger leveller. There is no excuse. And it's pissed me off tonight. There is no excuse. I don't want excuses. I expect at least a point on Sunday. And I expect a big performance. That's it. I don't care who's fit. I don't care who's injured. We've got a big squad. We've got the fourth most expensive squad in world football. I expect a result on Sunday for many reasons, but none more than it's Manchester United against Liverpool at Old Trafford. There are no excuses. Make sure you give the podcast a listen. More of this passion on more topics. Links are in the video description, iTunes, etc. It's a really good show. I'm back tomorrow. We've got a preview going up for you tomorrow night. That'll be live. And we've got another video going up for you in the midday as well. So thanks everyone for watching. Really enjoyed the video. Really, really good. And I hope you did as well. Don't let there be excuses. Do not let excuses live within this game. It's bullshit. And anybody who's saying on Twitter, oh, that's it, we've lost. Shut up. Grow up. Look at who we are. It's United versus Liverpool. There are no excuses. It is what it is. We go and get a result. Thanks for watching.